Hi, my name is Larry. This is the first in what I expect will be a series of videos on my experiences with weight loss surgery. Today is May the 16th, 2012, and I have not made this decision yet at this point. I still need a little more information before I make a final decision. And I've had my primary care doctor arrange for a referral to someone over at Yale to discuss weight loss surgery. However, if you are seeing this video, that means I have made the decision to do it, because if I decide against it, I am not going to post this video. I'd like to talk a little bit about how I've come to this decision. I have to say, I was against this idea for many years because I think in the late 90s, I met someone online. His name was Rob, and got to know him a little bit, and then he said he was going for weight loss surgery. I really didn't like the idea, and I tried to talk him out of it, which I have since learned you shouldn't do to somebody once they've made a decision and are about to do something. I felt they were promising him too much, but he went through with it, and in the course of his recovery, he got a pulmonary embolism and he died. That pretty much scared me. I decided whatever difficulties, dangers being obese presents to you and could cut short your life, nonetheless, it's not cutting it short tomorrow. So I went to the internet and looked up this issue of people who have died from weight loss surgery, and I wasn't too encouraged by the statistics. It said something like 2%, and from men over 50, it was more like 4%. This didn't sound right. Those weren't good odds for me. And so at that point, I decided this is definitely something I didn't want, and became quite against it, and formulated some ideas in my head, some which may have been accurate and some which may not have been accurate, about why I didn't want somebody doing surgery on me, cutting my body open, rearranging my organs, and what I felt was basically the same thing as wiring your jaw shut, just making it possible to eat. A lot has changed since then. For one, I've met a lot of people who have had the surgery, and none of them have had any complications, or if they did, it was something very minor. And everybody I know that's had it says it's a good thing, and they like it. So I'm not too worried about the dangers. Of course, when I talk to a doctor, I'm going to ask specifically about this issue. The other thing that changed is, I think partially because I've gotten older, I've developed some problems that are caused by weight. Now, I've had high blood pressure, but honestly, you just take a few pills and my blood pressure is okay now. I've had sleep apnea, and I sleep with a CPAP machine, and that's really not a problem. I almost enjoy putting that mask on every night before I go to sleep. So it isn't those two things, although I know that losing a lot of weight will probably solve those problems. And it isn't the fact that, it's going to cut some years off my life, because as I tell people, my parents lived to be 85. If it cuts 5 years off my life, that's no big deal. However, what has happened is I develop problems with my knees, with walking, and it becomes difficult for me to stand up, to walk, to stand. There's always some pain involved. And what this has done is, like, I've been reluctant to do a lot of things that I want to do, or things that I should do, like, housework, just because there's so often pain involved. And you can't go through your life just avoiding everything, because it's hard for you to walk around. And then the other thing is flexibility. It's like hard to put on my socks in the morning, get dressed in the morning. It's a lot of work. And, I get worried I'm not going to be able to, I don't know. Something bad is going to happen when I'm trying to put on my clothes. I might also say there's other parts of my body below my waist that I need to access for hygienic reasons and also for reasons of pleasure. And it's difficult to reach them. And I really wish I didn't have to struggle to do this. So those are some of the things that have happened. Now, when I was young, when I was a kid and teenager, I dieted a lot with my mother, and she always said, we're going on a diet. We went to Weight Watchers together. We tried Metrocal. I don't know if you remember that, but back in the 60s, kind of similar to SlimFast. We did all sorts of stuff, but ultimately every diet that went up was a failure. And I say a failure because if you gain back all the weight, to me, that's a failure. That hasn't done you any good. In fact, it's probably hurt you. And so I did that. And then at some point in my life, I think probably after when I was in college, I remember a friend and I did, quote, the old Weight Watchers, which was a little stricter version than they were allowing on Weight Watchers. And once again, I lost a significant amount of weight, and once again, it came back very quickly. So I think at that point, I kind of gave up on trying. And what I did was eventually got to feel good, at least about the way I looked, because I became involved with this group called Girth and Mirth, and being a gay man, in case you don't know that already. I met a lot of gay chubby chasers and still know a lot of them. And these are a lot of my friends. And they like the way I look. They like me because of the way I look, which is nice. So I helped my body image. My parents didn't do much good for that. Growing up, my parents kind of thought I was handsome from the neck up, but ugly from the neck down. So that was a good thing. You may say that kept me away from losing weight, but I think that was a good thing psychologically. And I still think I have no problems with the way I look. I like the way I look. But about 10 years ago, seeing as how I'm getting older now, I've started trying to lose weight. I tried a couple things. One thing I tried was the Atkins diet, which is a low-carbohydrate diet. And I have to say I kind of like Dr. Atkins' idea, which is that obese people suffer from insulin resistance, which is true for me. And that makes you tend to eat too much, as well as causes high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, etc., etc. Rather than saying, you're fat because you have no self-control, and then this causes all the problems. So, but the Atkins diet is very impractical. You can't go through your life never eating a piece of bread. And this is the problem with every diet. They're great on telling you how to lose weight, but then when it's over, they don't tell you how to stay there. So a few years ago, I went to Jenny Craig. Now, Jenny Craig, you have to get your food from them. And for 2 years, I counted every calorie I ate. I lost 140 pounds. That's more than Kirstie Alley and Valerie Bertinelli combined. I lost 140 pounds until I got to a point where I was on the diet and I just stopped losing. This weeks went into months. And I'm sorry, the word plateau to me is not something that lasts for 6 months. I finally gave up on it, thinking I was trying to lose weight some other ways. And that didn't last very long. And unfortunately, when I gave up on dieting, the weight came back and back and back. And within a year or so, I was back up to where I was before Jenny Craig. Only this time, my body had shifted. My belly had fallen lower. And I do believe these problems with my knees were worse than before. So I kind of blame it on losing and gaining that, because I just feel a little more uncomfortable physically than I did a few years ago. Maybe I'm just getting old. So that's how I got to this point. That some people have told me that indeed what weight loss surgery does is it changes your metabolism. I'm not looking for a diet. What I hope they will tell me is weight loss surgery is going to involve the ability to eat about half what I've been eating up until now, because I want to weigh about half of what I weigh now. And I will feel full when I eat, and I will not become hungry an hour later. If they can tell me that, I think I can do this. You have all the willpower in the world, but if your body's telling you eat more, there's just so much willpower you can have before you're going to give in. So that's why I have decided, after I've gone to the orthopedics, I got injections in my knees, they still hurt. And my orthopedist is really insistent that the only solution is to lose weight. The only way you're going to do that is weight loss surgery. And this time I was kind of willing to hear it. When I went to see him, I went to say, yeah, I'm thinking about it. So my next step is to talk to a doctor who does this and learn a little bit more. And I'll try to keep you informed as time goes on and see if this body can become a lot smaller. I have to say, honestly, it's going to be a little weird because I'm not going to look like I've looked for all these years. I've been fat for 50 years now, and what's it going to be like? I don't know. It'll be different. Maybe I won't look as good as I do now, or maybe I'll look better. I don't know. So I think I've talked too much about this. So until next time.